You know, guys, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. And when you look at the whole situation involving Johnny Depp, his career, his expulsion from the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, his recent firing from the Fantastic Beasts franchise, the lost litigation of the defamation lawsuit against the Sun, and the upcoming defamation lawsuit in the state of Virginia against his ex-wife Amber Heard, not a lot of things really seem to be coming up Johnny Depp right now, and that is unfortunate. Everything we've seen coming out of the Sun trial confirmed what many people thought over the span of the last couple of years, that Amber Heard is not entirely the victim here, and that this whole thing has been an orchestrated attempt to further damage Johnny's career. But like I said, everything has an equal and opposite reaction. Every action does. And so this is what we're finding out today. 1 million people, 1 million people have signed a change.org petition to remove Amber Heard from Aquaman 2. I'm not making this up, guys. 1 million people. If I had a Dr. Evil clip synced up, I would totally put it in right here. But 1 million people have demanded that Amber Heard be removed from Aquaman 2. And this is something that people have been arguing now for the past couple years. So this isn't anything new, but in the case of Johnny Depp's recent firing from Fantastic Beasts, this has gained massive, massive speed. And I really honestly think it's worth discussing. So let's talk about it. This is what the top part of the change.org petition says. Amber Heard has been exposed as a domestic abuser by Johnny Depp. In his $50 million lawsuit, Depp describes many of the incidences of domestic abuse that he suffered at the hands of his then-wife Amber Heard, including one incident where she punched him twice in the face, and another where she shattered his finger with the vodka bottle, and his finger had to be surgically reattached. He will bear the scar for the rest of his life. Also, Amber Heard was arrested in 2009 for abusing a former domestic partner. Tessa Van Ree demonstrated a repeating pattern of abuse by Amber Heard. And this is not a fallacy. This is real. We've seen the photos of Johnny Depp's finger after he was struck with the vodka bottle. But yet, according to the judge in the defamation lawsuit against Amber Heard and the Sun, the judge says that the accusations levied by the Sun calling Johnny Depp a wife beater were substantively true, which means that there was enough there to showcase that he has at least at one point in time been physical with her. Therefore, that assertion is accurate. Now, realistically, you would want the Sun to also say that Amber Heard is a husband beater. But of course, that's not the narrative that that particular tabloid is going to run with. So that is also the unfortunate side of things. But with this situation now hitting a fever pitch of 1,093,000 current signatures on this particular petition, one has to ask themselves, will this have any impact? Well, I don't know. I don't know. And I've talked about Johnny Depp before, how people came out to defend him, how his ex-wives came out to defend him, his friends came out to defend him. But where it really mattered in regards to Fantastic Beasts, that fell flat, because as we've been finding out now, J.K. Rowling didn't argue against Johnny Depp's firing. She was on his side back in 2017, 2018. She was very much on his side. But here she did not even remotely argue back against his firing. And the reason for that, you know why, guys? I'll be honest with you. It takes away from her own controversy. It takes away from her own situation involving her thoughts on trans rights and trans people, which is a gigantic PR nightmare for Warner Brothers, more than the one that they fired Johnny Depp over. That's absolutely true. They can only handle one PR controversy at a time. And they're going to, the executive producer and screenwriter and creator of the franchise is going to be the one that they protect. Never mind the fact that Fantastic Beasts 3 had to be completely rewritten because of how terrible she was at writing the screenplay for the last two films. So there is that. However, let's actually kind of look at this here from maybe more of an insider perspective for a hot second, because I do feel that this is interesting. Just yesterday, as news of this petition was going out there, as it had crossed over the 900,000 mark, BossLogic came out with this poster right here. This image he made of Emilia Clarke as Mera in Aquaman. This is something that he just put together and put it out there for people to see. No reason. It wasn't commissioned by anybody. It wasn't something he was paid to do. He put it out there. Now, it's kind of suspicious that the day after he puts this out, this particular petition hits 1,093,352 people, but it did. It did. And so my question then becomes, right, and this is all about part of these Let's Talk rant series that I like to do, is there actually a tonal shift that's happening in regards to Amber Heard's role as Mera? Now, we know that she is currently working on Zack Snyder's Justice League. That makes sense because they shot scenes with her back in 2016 and they needed to have the continuity. So for that, it makes sense. Right now, she's not quote unquote fired from Aquaman 2, but Warner Brothers, if they really are talking about a PR nightmare, if they are really trying to get Johnny Depp on this whole PR nightmare scenario that, like I said, J.K. Rowling's trans comments were far more ink-getting headlines than Johnny Depp. They really were. They were trended a lot more on Twitter. It was this bigger issue on Twitter. It was all this thing. So now we know that if PR is what they care about, you can't deny that 1,093,352 people, with it growing on a change.org petition, doesn't actually stand the chance of becoming one of the highest signed meaningless petitions on the internet. But from a PR perspective, from a company perspective versus that could be actually what tips it over. You've got BossLogic coming out here and showing what Emilia Clarke would look like. Also, Teresa Palmer is a good substitute. She looks a lot like Amber Heard, and I hear she's lovely to work with. But there's clearly been those discussions. There's clearly been those talks, and people are trying to put it out there in a way that would maybe force Warner Brothers' hands. Now, I don't know. I think it's going to boil down to the defamation lawsuit in Virginia that's going to kick off this month. Because if Johnny Depp wins that defamation lawsuit here in the United States, then it would be the exact same situation that he was in with The Sun, only flipped. Amber would be the loser. So are they waiting for that case to end? Are they waiting for that information to come out to see how bad of a PR fallout that's going to be before they make a move? Because if you want to talk about honesty, if you want to talk about transparency, if you want to talk about, I don't know, equality, or in maybe, equity, whatever, probably not so much equity, but definitely equality. If Johnny Depp was fired because due process saw him lose a lawsuit against a newspaper, a tabloid, I don't even want to call him a newspaper, a tabloid, and that now he's going to be going against his ex-wife directly in Virginia for this. If he wins, are they then going to fire Amber Heard from Aquaman 2? Are they going to sever ties with Amber Heard? I don't know. Now, my gut tells me the answer to that is no, right? Because rules for thee, but not for me. That's how I look at the situation. I'm not very happy with Warner Brothers right now. But 1,093,352 people have voiced their opinion about wanting Amber Heard out. That's over 100, it's almost 200,000 new signatures in a day. Johnny Depp and the Justice for Johnny Depp team. This is what's going on right here, guys. This is what's going on. And this is where it's going to ramp up. So my question then becomes to you, is it going to be possible for Warner's to sidestep this controversy from that perspective? Or now that they have made their judgment known, now that they have unceremoniously removed Johnny Depp from a franchise that he was going to share equal time in for the remaining few films, are they going to do the same to a person who has also abused her spouse? That's the question. And we'll have to wait and see how it goes. But I leave it to you as always. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear your opinions. Please keep the conversation going by heading over to facebook.com/groups/3Buck Theater, or becoming a channel member, or joining the patreon.com/Matt Jarbo crew over there. I really appreciate it, guys. We'll talk again soon. Have yourself a great day, and peace out.